Hey Cowboys Nation, the story of this season for Dallas has been one of highs, lows, and a lot of questions about what direction the team is really heading. The Cowboys made some eye-catching moves at the trade deadline that immediately grabbed headlines, bringing in defensive tackle Quinnen Williams from the New York Jets and linebacker Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals. On paper, it looks like a smart strategy to patch up a defense that has struggled mightily all season, but when you dig deeper, the decision raises more questions than it answers. Let's start with Williams. He is a proven talent, an All-Pro in 2022, and a three-time Pro Bowler. His resume alone makes it clear why Dallas was willing to give up significant draft capital. A first-round pick in 2027, a second-round pick in 2026, and defensive tackle Mazi Smith going to New York in exchange for Williams is a massive price. The expectation is that he will stabilize the defensive line, plug gaps in the run game, and provide leadership on a unit that has allowed far too many yards and points. Through 8 games this season, Williams has 32 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 3 forced fumbles, numbers that indicate his ability to disrupt offenses even when the surrounding talent isn't elite. Bringing him in signals that Dallas wants to address a fundamental issue. The interior defense has been porous, and it has cost them in nearly every game. Then there's Logan Wilson, a linebacker from Cincinnati. He's not as high profile as Williams, but he brings a different kind of value. The Cowboys needed someone with versatility and intelligence in the middle of the field, and Wilson fits that mold. Unlike the big splash with Williams, the price for Wilson was more modest, a 7th-round pick, making it a low-risk addition that could pay dividends if he adapts quickly. His experience and understanding of defensive schemes could help a group that has struggled with communication and tackling efficiency throughout the season. The combination of Williams and Wilson is intended to provide immediate upgrades and, more importantly, a foundation for improvement on a defense that has ranked near the bottom in almost every category. But here's where the controversy comes in. Dallas is currently 3 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie. With the playoff picture looking bleak, critics question the logic of mortgaging future draft assets for players who might not drastically change the team's immediate trajectory. The move seems to ignore a simple truth. If you are not a contender right now, how much does it really help to acquire high-cost talent for a team that is still figuring out its identity? Some analysts have described it as unbelievable mismanagement, pointing to the off-season trade of Micah Parsons as evidence that the Cowboys are making reactive decisions rather than following a coherent long-term plan. Parsons, a generational talent, was traded to the Packers for draft picks, and now the team has spent 2 high-value selections plus Smith to try to patch the defensive line. The contrast between losing a superstar edge rusher and acquiring players for immediate needs creates a sense of strategic confusion. Are the Cowboys rebuilding or trying to contend in the short term? Looking at the numbers, the defense has been a major problem. Dallas ranks 31st in yards allowed per game, giving up nearly 398 yards on average. Rushing defense has been a glaring weakness, with opponents averaging 143 yards per game on the ground, ranking 29th in the league. Scoring defense has also been a nightmare, as the team allows over 30 points per game. Those statistics underscore why management felt compelled to act. Williams strengthens the interior line, providing a disruptor against the run and helping the edge rushers generate more pressure. Wilson adds versatility, tackling ability, and coverage skills that could improve the overall performance of the defense. The intention is clear: shore up a unit that has been an Achilles heel and prevent further damage as the season progresses. Still, the cost cannot be ignored. The loss of a future first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a promising young defensive tackle in Mazi Smith is significant. For a team that is not in serious contention, this is a gamble. Some fans applaud the aggressiveness and the willingness to make bold moves, but analysts warn that this approach could create bigger problems down the line. The Cowboys are in a liminal space. They are not good enough to be true contenders yet, but now with less draft capital to build the next version of the team, the future could become even murkier. There's a tension between trying to win now and planning for sustainable success, and at the moment, the team seems caught in the middle. The timing of these trades is also worth noting. Coming off back-to-back losses and entering their bye week, management clearly felt the urgency to make a statement. Jerry Jones has always been a hands-on owner, willing to make bold, headline-grabbing moves. Yet the question remains, will these acquisitions translate into wins, or will they simply be band-aid solutions on a team that needs a deeper rebuild? While the potential of Williams and Wilson is undeniable, football is ultimately a team sport, and one or two additions cannot fix systemic issues overnight. Coaching, schemes, depth, and consistency across the roster all play critical roles, and these trades are just pieces of a much larger puzzle. Even supporters of the moves acknowledge that while Williams and Wilson improve certain aspects of the team, the defense still has glaring weaknesses. The edge rush and secondary remain critical concerns, and until those are addressed, Dallas will continue to struggle against top-tier offenses. The hope is that these acquisitions are stepping stones rather than quick fixes, players who can not only contribute this season, but also help shape the core of the defense moving forward. Williams brings leadership and presence inside. Wilson brings reliability and football intelligence, and together they form a nucleus around which the defense can evolve. Yet the immediate impact on the win column is uncertain, which fuels the ongoing debate among fans and analysts alike. The Cowboys are in a complicated position. They lead the NFC East in some respects, but the gap between them and a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, who currently hold a 6-2 record, highlights the challenge ahead. Every move now carries weight, not just in terms of wins and losses, but for the long-term trajectory of the franchise. While the acquisitions have generated excitement, there's a lingering question about whether these headline trades are a sign of strategic brilliance or a gamble that could set the team back in the coming years. Fans are left to wonder if the decisions made over the past few weeks reflect a clear vision or just a reactive approach to a season slipping away. Now, looking closer at the defensive impact, Williams is expected to immediately influence the middle of the field. His ability to stop the run is crucial for a Cowboys team that has allowed opponents to convert far too many first downs on the ground. The interior pressure he generates can change the way offenses attack Dallas, forcing quarterbacks to make quicker decisions and preventing running backs from gaining momentum. Even if the sack numbers do not explode right away, his presence alone can open opportunities for edge rushers and linebackers to make plays. Wilson complements this by providing flexibility at linebacker, capable of dropping into coverage or stepping up against the run depending on the situation. It's a combination that, on paper, makes the defense more adaptable and capable of handling multiple offensive schemes. However, the question of fit remains. Williams had been a consistent performer in New York, but he was not necessarily a high-volume sack artist, which is something Dallas desperately needs. Wilson has had ups and downs in Cincinnati, including some benchings that drew attention, and now he faces the challenge of quickly assimilating into a new system. Chemistry is a key factor in football, especially on defense, and building that cohesion midseason is never easy. The Cowboys coaching staff now has the task of integrating two new starters into a unit that has already faced continuity issues and injuries. If the transition is successful, it could transform the team's defensive identity. If not, these high-profile additions might end up being more symbolic than impactful in terms of wins and losses. Offensively, these trades also send a message. While the team has struggled in the win-loss column, management is signaling that they are unwilling to accept mediocrity, even during a rebuilding phase. It is a statement of intent that the Cowboys are committed to competing in every game, addressing weaknesses head-on, and sending a message to players that improvement is non-negotiable. Yet, this approach has its risks. When a franchise spends significant assets on mid-season acquisitions, the margin for error becomes smaller. Every game that follows is a test of whether these decisions are justified, and pressure intensifies not just on the new players, but on the entire roster. The financial and strategic gamble is compounded by the fact that Dallas is now operating with less draft capital. Future drafts are critical for sustaining success and building depth across all positions. Giving up a first-round pick in 2027 and a second-round pick in 2026 represents a major investment in the present at the potential cost of the future. For a team that is already struggling to close the gap with division rivals, it's a delicate balance. Fans and analysts alike are debating whether this short-term focus will help establish a foundation for competitiveness or whether it might hinder the team's ability to build a deep, sustainable roster over the next several seasons. Adding to the complexity is the context of the NFC East this year. The Philadelphia Eagles are 6-2, running away with the division, while Dallas sits at 3-5-1. The Cowboys are not mathematically eliminated yet, but the reality is that they are playing catch-up. Every decision matters, even more in a division where the margin for error is thin. By adding Williams and Wilson, Dallas has effectively doubled down on a strategy of shoring up weaknesses in a bid to stay competitive. The question that remains is whether these trades will be enough to overcome a gap that seems to be widening with each week that passes. Historically, mid-season trades have been a gamble for every team. Some acquisitions spark immediate improvement, while others struggle to adjust and fail to make a meaningful impact. Williams and Wilson fall into the former category if everything clicks, but the NFL is notoriously unpredictable. Football is a game of timing and execution, and even the most talented players cannot single-handedly transform a struggling team. Success depends on alignment between coaching strategy, player performance, and team morale. Dallas now has two new building blocks, but the foundation beneath them must be solid enough to leverage their strengths effectively. The broader implication for Dallas is that management is attempting to redefine what the team looks like defensively. Williams and Wilson bring skill, versatility, and leadership, all of which were lacking in critical moments earlier this season. The hope is that these acquisitions will create a ripple effect, boosting confidence across the defensive unit, improving communication, and encouraging younger players to step up. Defensive identity is not just about talent on paper. It's about how a team reacts under pressure, how assignments are executed, and how mistakes are corrected in real time. The Cowboys are betting that these additions will elevate their defense in all of these areas. Meanwhile, the fan base is divided. Some applaud the moves, excited to see elite talent like Williams join the ranks and hoping Wilson brings stability to the linebacker core. Others are skeptical, questioning whether these trades truly align with a long-term vision or if they are short-term fixes that risk compromising future competitiveness. Every analyst, commentator, and fan voice seems to echo one central theme. The moves are bold, but they are fraught with risk. The narrative for the Cowboys now hinges on the performance of these two players and how quickly the rest of the team adapts to their presence. At the same time, Dallas has sent a clear signal to the rest of the league. Jerry Jones has always been a proactive, hands-on owner, and these trades underline his willingness to shake things up in pursuit of improvement. Whether other teams see this as strategic brilliance or reckless spending is up for debate, but there is no denying that Dallas is intent on making noise. It is a reminder that even in a season that might not result in a deep playoff run, the Cowboys are willing to make moves that could reshape the defensive landscape for years to come. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. In a shocking turn of events that has sent ripples through the NFL community, Dallas Cowboys star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb has reportedly broken his silence regarding the team's internal struggles, and the words he chose have only fueled the fire. Sources close to the star claim Lamb didn't hold back, allegedly stating, "They are destroying the team from the inside." While the Cowboys organization has remained tight-lipped, insiders say that tension within the locker room has been mounting for months, and Lamb's frustration may have finally reached a boiling point. Rumors have been swirling that disagreements between coaching staff and key players, combined with questionable front office decisions, have created a toxic atmosphere. Lamb, known for his focus and professionalism, has apparently been caught in the crossfire, and his recent comments suggest that patience may be running thin. According to some whispers within team circles, his remarks weren't made lightly. Teammates have reportedly noticed a shift in his demeanor, hinting at a deeper dissatisfaction with how the team is being managed. The timing of Lamb's statements could hardly be more dramatic. Coming off a season that promised hope but delivered inconsistency, fans and analysts alike are dissecting every word for signs of an impending shakeup. Could this be the spark that forces the front office to make bold moves? Or is it just the latest episode in a saga of locker room unrest? Some league insiders speculate that CeeDee's outburst might influence trade talks or even signal his own desire for a change of scenery in the near future. While official channels remain tight-lipped, social media has exploded with reactions ranging from shock to support, with fans debating whether the star wideout is pointing fingers at management, coaching, or even broader organizational issues. If true, Lamb's blunt admission could mark the beginning of a very public reckoning for the Cowboys, as speculation grows about whether his words will lead to action, or simply deepen the internal drama that now threatens to overshadow the team's on-field ambitions. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.